Hello and welcome. Today let's go ahead and walk through the download and installation of InsightIQ for DellEMC Isilon. Alright, so first what you're going to want to do is double check to make sure what version of OneFS you have and make sure that the version of InsightIQ you're downloading is compatible with it. So I would recommend just Googling the Isilon Supportability and Compatibility Guide and then finding the section on InsightIQ, and it'll tell you which versions of InsightIQ are compatible with which versions of OneFS. So you want to double check this right here just to make sure that everything's compatible and will work. From here, you're going to go to the support.dell.com site, sign in, and simply search for InsightIQ, and you'll be able to download it. As you can see, I have it downloaded right here. This is the OVF, so I can just import that into VMware Workstation very easily. And we can also see that it is version 4.1.3.88. All right, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up VMware Workstation. Go to File and Open. Then I'm going to select the OVF package, and I'm going to change the name to just 4.1.3. Then I can go ahead and import that. This will take probably about a minute and a half or so to import, depending on your system and configuration. So we'll just go ahead and jump back in once this has completed. Okay, the import has completed. So I'm going to go ahead and power on the virtual machine. It will take just a few moments to get up and going, and then we can just actually start the configuration. All right, first we need to enter in a password, and then we can go ahead and change the network settings. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So first, we're going to enter in the IP address. We need to turn on number lock. Okay, as you can see, I'm entering the IP address, the net mask, the subnet mask, the default gateway, and then finally the DNS server. We'll go enter that as well. All right, here we can double check our network settings, make sure we don't make any changes. If we do need to make changes, just hit N and you'll be able to enter them all again. They all look good to me, so I'll go ahead and type in yes. All right, would I like to change the host name? I'm going to say no. All right, and it is restarting the InsightIQ service. Okay, now depending on where you're installing this, you can go ahead and open up a browser and try and hit the IP address that you set this to. But I know from just past experience that I'm going to have to go in and actually power down this virtual machine and actually make one network settings change. You could do this before you do the configuration or after. Okay, the virtual machine has powered off. And the one setting I need to change in order for this to work in the VMware Workstation environment is I need to go to Edit Virtual Machine Settings and simply change the network adapter from bridged to NAT. All right, so once I do that, click OK, and then I can go ahead and power the virtual machine back on. Okay, we can see the virtual machine has booted up, so we can go ahead and open up a browser and try and hit that IP address to connect to the web interface. So go ahead and enter in the IP address we set. I'm going to click on Advanced and then Proceed. The username, administrator. Password is whatever you set it to. All right, from here we have a license agreement. I'm going to go ahead and agree after reading every word, of course. All right, so from here, we're choosing the Datastore Location. So you're going to want to refer to the administration guide for InsightIQ. If you're concerned or maybe you have a larger environment, you want to refer to that to see what's best. If you want to store make the Datastore Location just local, or if you actually want to use an NFS mounted data store. This being a demonstration environment, I'm just going to leave it as the local data store. All right, from here we need to actually add our Isilon cluster into the into InsightIQ to know that, hey, this is where it is and this is where you need to monitor it. So we're going to enter in the IP address of the Isilon cluster, we're going to use just the first node. We're going to use the root and the root password, and then click OK. So from here we can see it is adding that cluster. See, it takes a moment or two. Okay, we can see that the cluster has been added. We could add additional clusters if we needed to right here. We can also see the version of NFS running currently, and the last time that data was pulled. All right, so from here we can go to dashboard and we can see information about the cluster itself. We can see some performance monitoring things. As the cluster runs the job needed to collect the data, we'll see more information about it. So from here, from a performance standpoint, we can see some information running. I just started this cluster up that it's monitoring, so that's why we're not able to go very far back. But here we can see some live or near real-time performance monitoring for the cluster. From a file system analytics standpoint, we can see capacity numbers, but to see any of the forecast information, or if we really want to dive into the cluster, we're going to have the cluster run a file system analytics report. So this cluster has already ran some on a brand new cluster that you haven't been monitoring. You might not have ran the job itself. So what I'm going to do is log into that cluster and show you how to run that job in order to get it to get file system analytics information. So I'm logging into that cluster right now. To run the job, we're going to go to cluster management and then job operations. Click on the job types tab, and then down here we can see this FS analyze job. So this is what walks the file system. So this could take a while if you have a very large file system. This is what gathers all the information about the file system, file size, age, etc., and that's what actually gives it to InsightIQ, so you can start seeing some interesting, properties about the cluster, things like this, to where you can really start getting some good information. So you could just run that manually when you need to, or you could set that up as a schedule and maybe run it once a week or whatever makes sense for you. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for watching, and have a great rest of the day.